What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. If you're new, my name's Chris, and here we explore products, places, and things that help us live a more enjoyable life. Today, we're gonna run through one of the newly released road shoes, the Specialized S-Works 7 Lace. I've officially logged about 500 miles on these shoes. Enough to know what I like and what I don't like, and how they stack up against some of the other shoes that I've ridden. And look, spoiler alert, if you're looking for a video to convince you not to buy these shoes, you've stumbled across the wrong one, because I really like these shoes. As always, I share my perspective as someone who may be a little bit like you. I enter the occasional race, ride about 7,500 miles a year, and I don't collect a paycheck for riding a bike. But man, do I love smashing the pedals with friends in between real life, family, and work obligations. Let's start with value, as I think that's one of the strong points of this shoe. At $325 MSRP, it's $100 less than its brother shoe, the traditional S-Works 7 shoe. You save $100, almost 25%, and you get all of the performance and comfort features of the traditional S-Works 7 shoe. And I'd even argue that it's more comfortable than the S-Works 7. More on that later. But $100 saved on these shoes could go a long way. That could be 6 months of a training program that's gonna ultimately make you faster at the end of the day. Aesthetically, I think these shoes look really good in every single colorway. The black, the white, and the vivid coral cast umber, I think they call it. Remember how I said that I really liked the Aethos because it had minimal branding, didn't feel like a billboard? That's how I feel about these S-Works 7 Lace shoes. They're just super clean. Laces on cycling shoes, in general, are somewhat of a polarizing style. You either love it, you hate it, or you're really not even interested, because why would you put laces on a shoe? Personally, I think they look really good. They remind me of like the old school soccer shoes before soccer shoes became somewhat of a billboard. I really like these ones because of the clean look. They're all white, all over. Even the heel cup just goes from a matte white to a gloss white. And I think the branding is subtle, and it's very good. And I would say the same thing about the other colors as well. If you've seen any of my kits or photos on Instagram or been out riding with me, you know that I'm a fan of individual style in cycling. Unless, of course, you're contractually obligated to wear something, I think you should just have fun with it. And I think that these shoes are on point, on brand, and they look really good. When it comes to performance and ride experience, again, these shoes excel here as well. These shoes have a stiffness level of 15, as Specialized calls it, which is in line with the traditional S-Works 7 as well as the Aries. And having ridden those two shoes, the Laces, as well as the S-Fires, I can tell you that there's no difference in stiffness between these shoes. In fact, I would say that one of the advantages that the S-Works 7 Lace shoe has is that because the outer material is comfortable, your feet have a little bit more room to move, and it doesn't feel as constricting on your feet, which I think is a major pro when you're out on long rides. One of the reasons I think this shoe is so comfortable is because of the way that the laces kind of go around the top of your foot. Similar to the comment I made about the Aries shoe, how I feel like that web design that's kind of like a little mesh sock thing kind of distributes the pressure across the whole top of your foot. Well, the laces do the same thing. And I previously made the comment that I thought that the Aries was the most comfortable shoe that I'd ever ridden, riding it for 200 miles, about 9.5 hours, and the Aries performed flawlessly. Well, I think these shoes are even more comfortable than the Aries. And when this 200-mile race, which is the only race that I do every year, comes around again, I can promise you that the S-Works 7 Lace shoes are going to be my go-to shoe. I just think that they're that much more comfortable than every other shoe that I've ridden. It's hard for me to find things that I don't like about these shoes, but I do think there are two considerations before buying them. The first is just simply the amount of time it takes to lace them up. If you're someone who's constantly late for group rides or always rushing out the door, trying to catch the group before they leave without you, these may not be the shoes for you, because the extra 2 minutes that it takes to lace them up, well, that may be the difference between catching the group and not catching them. And the second is that inevitably, the laces need to be washed every few weeks to keep them looking sharp. Now with these, I have yet to wash them, not the shoe nor the laces, after about 500 miles, and they still look pretty good in my opinion. My complaint about the traditional S-Works 7 shoe was that where the boa crossed over the top of the foot, there was like this little lip in the tongue of the shoe, and the boa got caught right there, and it inevitably dug into the top of my foot. Now with the S-Works 7 Lace, I have no issue whatsoever. And as a side note, if you've seen any of the spy shots of what look like they're going to be the S-Works 8 shoe, it looks like they've fixed that issue. There's some kind of a guide in the tongue that keeps the boa dial in place. So really looking forward to those. Drop me a comment below with your thoughts on these shoes. I can't decide if they're incredibly polarizing or popular because they seem to be sold out everywhere that I look, or they're just sitting off the coast in these container ships that I see every week. This week, the Aethos turns 1,000 miles old, which is kind of nuts considering I just got it 2 months ago. In my next video, I'll share my thoughts on that bike and a little bit of my internal struggle about whether to keep the Aethos or the SL7. Until next time,